bluegrass inching into the northeast. Going to dump a bit of snow there.
Yes, and then we've got our next winter storm has now been named. That is Sage. That's getting its start in the west, but we're going to show you how that crosses the country, could develop into a coastal storm. This has potential to be a big one in the northeast. I want to definitely key on a potential. We'll talk through all the options.
Absolutely. Of course, it's a new season. The Pattis brothers are going to be joining us to share the best parks to visit in. Of course, our Passport to Parks continues here on this Friday.
Our favorite feature that we've been doing, Passport to the Parks. Well, we're going to take you out to our top weather stories, though, and there is a laden and heavier, actually. Now, we've got the snow a lot, but look at all this rainfall. 5 to 8 inches in pockets along the coast, pretty widespread areas of 3 to 5. You go up into the Sierra, and this is where we have anywhere from 3 to 5, 5 to 8, or 8 to 12 inches of rain, and that's on top of areas that just had a big snowpack. We're talking feet of snow. So let me show you where the moisture is coming from. It's our atmospheric river. We can call it a Pineapple Express, connect this moisture all the way back to Hawaii, and honestly, it just seems unending, doesn't it, with the amount of moisture just heading right into this area. But, we have this system up here, and that's our, kind of sending in pops of energy, directing moisture into the west as well. It's just the general flow that we're seeing here that's going to keep us inundated with rain. There'll be some breaks over the next several days, but there's a lot of moisture yet to come. Flash flood warning in effect right here. We're watching the rain heavy at times. Always concerned about any of the old burn scars. Those can actually be problematic for years after a wildfire, and they can have problems with the potential for mudslides. We're looking right now at San Luis Obispo, Cambria, and Lake Nacimiento. This is an area that's been getting very heavy rainfall and continues. There, again, as I showed you that water vapor, there's a lot of moisture yet to continue to come on in. Then you jump up farther north, and it's more showery here underneath that upper level low portion of the storm. We've got some windy conditions at times as well, but that's an area that was hard hit yesterday with problems with heavy snow and road issues and road closures and backups and the whole deal. Now, with all the rainfall that we have coming in and the moisture coming in, there's a high risk of flash flooding. There's an area along the coast, but also in the inland valley as well. You have to go back to 2021 for the last high risk in California. And for the National Weather Service in Hanford, this is their first high risk in their forecast area, going back to when records were kept for this. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal because high risk flood days are very impactful. You look at the high risk days, and 83% of the yearly flood damages happen on high risk days. Also, deaths as well, 39%. So take it very seriously. Flood watches are up, as you can imagine, with this goes into the weekend. We're going to see the rainfall heavy at times through today. We keep it going. Snow levels again high. We're talking 7,000 or 8,000 feet, but there'll be impacts there. 395 traveling on that. That will be an area that will have some really heavy snow. Donner Pass, we saw that yesterday. And you notice as we get then through the weekend, another round of rain this time comes in farther to the north. It's not as much here to the south to start. We'll see maybe some showers getting in by Tuesday into Wednesday, a little bit further south. Talking snow, this is what's to come. Another anywhere from 3 to 4 feet, I would say most widespread, but then you go up at elevation, we're talking another 5 to 6 or 6 feet of snow. And Alex, this snow, as we know, is much heavier than all of the other 5 or 6 feet of snow that we've had with these storms, with Winter Storm Sage. So the energy from the west is going to cross the country, and we will see as we get into the next 2 days, a new system develop, and then it'll be a snowmaker. So here we go, watching this continue to evolve as we get through the day today, moving tomorrow here across the northern tier. We'll watch the dip in the jet stream come in. That's going to bring us a reinforcement of cold air up there, especially to the north. But everything that Alex just talked about with those thunderstorms to the south, that's the moisture source. So here we go. That comes up here, moves up into the Midwest, and we've got more snow coming back into areas like Minneapolis, like Madison, Wisconsin, like Racine. What did you pick up? What, 9 inches in your backyard yesterday? More snow coming in. In Chicago, we might get a little more this time. We didn't get a whole lot out of Ricardo in town, much more in the northern burbs. But this one could be different. We already do have blizzard warnings up across parts of Montana. Very windy system in addition to the snow and the cold that's coming in with it. Winter weather advisories, blizzard warnings up into North Dakota. Winter weather advisories farther to the south. Now, let's bring this in as we get through the day on Saturday. Snowfall coming in early in the morning. We'll see the winds at times very gusty, 35, 40 miles per hour. Watching that as we continue through Saturday evening, moving back over Wisconsin into lower Michigan. Chicago, again, some snow chances for you. Indianapolis, maybe north side of town, Fort Wayne, you've got the chance, and South Bend also the chance of getting some snow out of this. And we see it moving through the area as we get through Sunday night, tracking east, tracking into the northeast, which we will get to and talk about that. But in terms of this area, we've got anywhere from 8 to 12 inches back into North Dakota. We will see that across the northern part of the state. Minnesota, yes, again, we've got an area of 5 to 8 inches of snow, this time north of Minneapolis. And for Wisconsin, it was the southern half of the storm last night that got all the snow. For the next one, we're going to put it up in the northern half of the state for the bigger totals coming on in with lighter amounts farther to the south and east. Then, Alex, what happens when this heads to the northeast?
West.
Yep. All right. We've got a rainy day ahead for Los Angeles, including right here on Boylston Street, where I'm standing, thanks to our virtual view technology. Let's get you into what is going to come our way with this atmospheric river when it gets down into Southern California. We've got rain coming our way today, again tonight, and at least for part of the day tomorrow. Now, we think by the end of the day we'll start to dry out, and Saturday night looks dry. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s and 60s, so not as cold as the last several storms where we were dropping down to the 40s, right, in Los Angeles. Not the case. We're not going to see snow down into the San Gabriels or the San Bernardino Mountains, but we will see snow at the highest spots in the Sierra, a heavy wet snow, feet of snow, and inches of rain. We're talking about 3 to 5 or even 5 to 8 inches of rainfall. This is an atmospheric river. You can call it a Pineapple Express. It connects back with Hawaii, and that's just really a nickname for these atmospheric rivers when they make that connection. Either way, no matter what the name is, it has a lot of moisture with it, and we can see that on the radar with some of the heavier amounts coming in right now across the Central Valley. Just south of Sacramento is where some of that biggest rain is falling. And oftentimes with these atmospheric rivers, there is a more narrow area of biggest rainfall rates. Unfortunately, we're in it right here on the coast, and we do have a flash flood warning that is up that goes until 1 o'clock local time. There may be more today, so be ready to take warnings and be ready to take action should you need to.